Hey guys, ready for one of your last lessons with your friendly neighborhood art teacher? I'm going to be doing something a little bit different this week. I'm going to be putting people together in age groups instead of just by grade level. So this is an art lesson that is perfectly fine for 7 to 9-year-olds or 2nd to 3rd grade. That doesn't mean that you can't look at the other ones. If you want to go through my YouTube and look at the other age levels, go for it. They're perfectly fine for everybody. Before we go too far though, let's talk about what we're going to need for today. You are going to need a piece of paper. Copy or lined paper is fine. You will need a pencil or eraser, a ruler or a straight edge, and I'll explain that in a moment, and coloring supplies, color pencils, crayons, or markers. So what I mean by a ruler or a straight edge is this. Take a look back down here at my camera. So here's a ruler. You can use that to trace along the lines and make a straight edge, or you can use something else that has a straight line, and you can also use it to trace straight edges. So like this is the edge of a box that I have. If you've got a really tough piece of paper, you could fold it in half, and you can also use that. So if you don't have a ruler, don't worry, you can still find something to make into a straight edge. So, what we're going to be working on today is called optical illusion art, or op art. I'm going to show you some examples. So this one, which is the one that I did, is called the Checkered Illusion. Now they call it the Checkered Harvest because they drew a heart with theirs. So there's checkers. Then we've got this one called the Crazy Heart, which is a lot of fun. And then we've got one called Starburst. And then we have one called Double Starburst. I'm going to tell you right now, this one's a little bit trickier than the other ones. So I would practice one of these before you start moving on to the tricky ones like the Double Starburst. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you how to do one. Now, they use hearts for theirs. You don't have to use hearts. In fact, I didn't use a heart for mine. I just decided to go ahead and just do a circle because that's a little bit easier. Also, I have this nice circle that I can use. So I'm going to go ahead, trace my circle. And so for the Starburst, you start somewhere. I'm going to make a little dot right there. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to start making lines. And remember, they all have to start at the same dot coming off. You just keep going around and around. That's why it's called a starburst, and I'm getting a little bit off of my dot there. So, once you're done, you'll have this crazy radial design, radial being in a circle, going out all the way around. So I'm doing really big art. This might be something a little bit easier for you to do if you try it a little bit smaller. I know, isn't that crazy? It's the first time I probably told you to do smaller art. So I'm going to fix something here. I'm going to make this. I'm going to cover up. Since this is a little bit off, and you'll see why in a second, because it'll help. So I want to come out. I'll make that. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to use just a marker to help, because it's a little bit easier to see this. And I'm going to pick 2 colors. I'm not going to actually do the whole thing. with two colors. I'm just going to show you a little bit in the beginning. So I'm going to start with this guy right here. And I'm going to color inside. Then I'm going to skip one. I'm going to come over here to the next side. Then I'm going to skip one. And I'm going to come down here. And I'll bet you can figure out what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to skip one as I go all the way around. And I hope that I have an even number, because otherwise it's going to be off. But that's okay, because if it is, I can start another one. So I'm going to skip. And let's look. 1, 2, 3. Ooh! This phrase is good. If you discover that you don't have enough, all you can really have to do is you can just add another line in between some, and it'll help. It'll make, you can divide another one into two. So let's say that this one wasn't here, and I came down and I found out I had these last two together. I could just draw this extra line in between them, and that would make my last piece. Alright, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to color that. Yeah, that looks good. So now that I've done the inside of the circle, I'm going to be doing the outside. If it's purple inside of the circle, it is not purple outside. If it's not purple inside the circle, it is purple outside. So, one, all the way over. Ta-da! So that makes for one. Not purple on the inside. Now it's going to be purple on the outside. There's another one. And then it might help if I were making those a little bit. There. Okay, now you know I can sit here all day and I can finish coloring all of these. So I'm going to just kind of scoosh ahead a little quicker through them, just so you can see mostly what it looks like. So you should get this all the way to the edges. I'm not, just so I can get this done quicker. Oops, see, that's what happens when you try and go too fast. And then back to the beginning. So, when you look at it, it is called optical art. Now, there's a lot of other ways. Flip back through that, you can download that PowerPoint, you can look back through the video. There's a whole bunch of them that you can do out there. You want to make it tricky? We'll do the same thing we just started off, and I'm not going to color this whole thing, but I will at least show you what I mean. This is what the... I did that and I realized I don't know if I have anything smaller to trace. I'm going to trace another circle. And then, remember how I had to have this little guy in the middle? I can do that again. Then you start drawing your lines going out. Only this time when you're coloring it, it would be purple, purple, and then back. That's why it's a little bit trickier to get that part done. And why did I pick another color? Because I could go through and start coloring the white spots. They don't have to stay white. You can make them another color, which is what I did with my example at the beginning of the video. So that is the beginning of your introduction into op art. So in case you're looking through some of these again, you've got the checkered, which is what I did in the beginning. We've got crazy. You've got Starburst, which is the one I walked you through, and then double Starburst, which is the one that's a little trickier. So this is the end of this particular lesson. If you guys have any questions or comments you want to show me or send to me, you can email me at afrans@amanaacademy.org. You're not required to turn this in for a grade. I love to see your artwork, but you don't have to turn it in to me for a grade. But if you want to get this PowerPoint, it will be on in your teachers or in your grade levels art folder. So have fun with this. If you want to check out the other grade levels, you can. I'll see you later.